you don't want this epidemic, if you will, of
Right.
shootings to go on. So what would you do?
Well, I'm not sure there is an easy answer. I think if we could discover who is mentally ill before they commit an act, we should not have them have weapons. And so there could be restrictions on people based on having criminally acted in an insane way. The problem also is that almost all of these shootings tend to be sort of the first act. You know, so how do you prevent a first act, and how do you take away someone's rights if you don't have the ability to prove it in court? It's not an easy situation. I mean, if it were easy, somebody would have fixed it, you know, a long time ago. I don't know that there is an easy answer, but I think some of it, and the reason why I start out with the word spiritual or a sickness or an illness, is that there is something pervasive in our society, and people talk about it all the time. Kids spending 6 hours a day watching violent video games and doing that. Can we ban video games? I'm not for that either. So, but there is something that has to change, and I'm not sure all of it involves government or how much of it involves government, or if there is an answer. Part of the answer, though, I think is self-defense. So if we're not going to get rid of the Second Amendment, I don't advocate that, I would announce that from here on out we're going to be defending our schools, and I would allow concealed carry in the schools. I would allow for more security guards in schools when we can do that. But I would just simply announce we're not going to have gun-free zones. The gun-free zones tend to be targets for those who are shooters.
Well, just to be clear with what you've just said, administrators and teachers armed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think deterrence is a big factor here if you want to deter people from going to places. When you put a sign up that says gun-free zone, that's an invitation for someone who wants to act in a violent way to come there. Think about it. These shooters, while they tend to be homicidal and crazy to a certain extent, they aren't crazy enough that they show up at the sheriff's station. They don't shoot up police stations and sheriff stations because they'll be shot back. They go to an area where there's no defense.